Most data warehouse practitioners create aggregated data tables to dramatically improve the performance of highly summarized queries. These aggregate tables store pre-computed results that are aggregated measures, typically summed, over a set of dimensional attributes. Using aggregate tables is a typical technique used to improve query performance times in decision support systems. If you write SQL queries or use a tool that only understands what physical tables exist and not their meaning, then using aggregate tables becomes more complex as the number of aggregate tables increase. The aggregate navigation capability of the Oracle Business Intelligence Server allows queries to use the information stored in aggregate tables automatically. The Oracle BI Server lets you concentrate on asking the right business questions, and then the server decides which tables provide the fastest answers. Oracle Business Intelligence has an aggregate navigation feature to take advantage of those aggregates in source databases. However, it can be time-consuming to create and maintain the data aggregation, as well as load database scripts and the corresponding metadata mappings. For that reason, Oracle Business Intelligence provides an aggregate persistence feature that automates the creation and loading of the aggregate tables and their corresponding Oracle Business Intelligence metadata mappings. The aggregate persistent wizard lets you automate the creation of the aggregate specification script. When you run this script against a live Oracle BI server, aggregate tables are created by the aggregate persistence engine and are mapped into the metadata for navigation. When aggregates are persisted, indexes and statistics are created on relational tables for greater performance. To complete this lab, you will have to follow these steps to configure the aggregate persistent wizard in Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition 11G. Set up and use aggregate tables. Perform the following. Import metadata. Create new logical table sources. Set aggregate content and test your work. Let's get started. The first step we want to perform is to open the RPD in online mode. We'll click File, Open, Online. Then we'll enter the RPD's password, which is admin123. First letter is uppercase as always. You will notice that this shows online. Next, on the menu bar, navigate to Tools, Utilities, Aggregate Persistence. And then you click Execute. On the Specify File Location screen, what you want to do is to enter the name of the aggregate script that you want to create, which in this case we will prefix it with AG, short for aggregate, and the name of the RPD. Then we want to browse to the location where we saved most of the configuration files. So we'll go ahead and expand computer, the C drive. Want to save it in the OBIEE folder. Then we'll say OK. Then click Next. And then you select the business model. Then expand the fact table, select dollars, and click Next. On the Select Levels screen, select the logical level at which it should be aggregated and check the option for surrogate key. We'll aggregate it by month, and we do not want to activate or check the Use for Surrogate Key checkbox. So we'll go ahead and click Next. Then we'll click Next, and on the database icon under Database, click the database icon so that it becomes active. Then we will expand the database. Under catalog schemas, we'll click on the available schema, which is paint in this case, and notice that the aggregate table in the lower section will be exposed. We will click next, and then SQL will be generated, and you can view the script by clicking on the view script in the top corner of the window, as will be shown here. This is the script that has been created by the Aggregate Persistent Wizard. You can click close. Notice the I am done option that it is selected here. Make sure that it is also selected on your screen. Then once you have verified that this option is selected, you click next, and finally finish. Now, to validate the existence of the script that we just created, we need to go to the C drive under the OBIEE folder and check in the folder for the newly created aggregate table. You will notice this was created today. We'll open Notepad. You can use Notepad or Notepad++, whichever is your preferred text editor. So what we want to do next is to know the name of the system DSN for the OBIEE 11G, which is saved on our laptop. So we'll go ahead and click on Start. Then we'll search for OBIEE AD32. Once it opens, you click on it. Then you click on System DSN, and this is the name that we want here. So we can click on Configure, giving us a warning, but we just want to copy the name, and then we can click on Cancel, and click on Cancel. So I copied the name and saved it in my notepad, and then just typed set, because we'll use that command. Then next, we want to navigate to the C drive and go in the middleware home. It may be middleware on your computer. Then instances, instance 1, BI Foundation, Oracle BI application, core application. Then you want to copy this path and open your notepad, type it with a space after the set so that it appears as follows, and then put a backslash and type setup. Then copy this path and we'll open the command prompt. And we'll set up the environment variables. Then we'll paste it on the command prompt screen. And you press enter. Next, what we want to do is we want to modify the path by changing directory. So this time I've copied the same path, but I did not include the set in front of it, and we want to type change directory space, then you paste, and that changes directory to our newly created path. Then type BI or CMD and press enter. Once this screen comes up, we want to execute a script, and I will go ahead and type this script over, which you may want to retype on your notepad before you actually replicate it here.